man. Yeah, and appreciate everyone jumping on. It's exciting to have you all here. I'm stoked to spend an hour with you and just sort of, I guess, yeah, chat through a few of your sites. I've had a little bit of a look at some of them and haven't looked at others. Yeah, I guess just for a little bit of context, yeah, I'm Mav. I run an ecom design studio based in Melbourne, and I guess like our for a bit of context, like our positioning is sort of between like your traditional CRO, like very sort of scientific A/B testing sort of agency, and a more like designer focused agency. And so we kind of meet in the middle where we do Shopify designs and landing pages and stuff. And I think that blend of, strategy and ecom and like actually long-term like design integrity is like where we really love. And I think that sort of lends into like what my views are on CRO. And it's probably a little bit more zoomed out than, your typical, like, obviously we'll jump into a few of these sites and we'll go through and we'll change different things. But I think at the core and probably like the biggest takeaway is like, whenever you're looking into CRO and, you're on Twitter or YouTube and you're trying to soak up some tips, like understanding like who your customer is and what your customer is doing on your website is definitely like the first point of call, and it's your most important thing. And so I think, whenever you like get into this sort of world, there can be so many things for you to do. And at the end of the day, you just really need to get obsessed with who your customer is, why they're on your site, and how you can best help them find what they want to do, which is ultimately the same goals as you, right? Like we want them to convert, and so do they. They're looking for a product or solution that meets their solves their pain, or gives them a certain desire, whether that's improving their life. So we've actually got the same goals, and we're just trying to help them get to that. So after that little spiel, let's jump in, and we've got a little bit of a list to get through, but I think how we'd like to do it is let's make it a bit more interactive. Keen to I'll go through this list. I'll call your name out or show your brand, and if you're here, if you can just give Shin and I just a little bit of a pitch of like, what's your brand about? What are you currently sort of working on and thinking through? And we'll just try and give as much value as we can. There's a couple to get through, but we should be able to get through them all. So I'll probably speak more broadly. We'll obviously go through each site, but I'll try and find some things that'll be relevant for most of the people on the call. But yeah, does that sound all good? Everyone down with that approach? Cool. Couple of nods. Sweet. Let's jump in. Is Jimmy here?
Yep, I'm here.
What's up, Jimmy? How are you, mate?
Hey, Matt. How you doing, bro?
Yeah, good, dude. Yeah, if you could just tell us all a little bit about the brand, and I'll bring it up.
Sure. So Calm, initially we started in 2021. My sister is a yoga instructor, so we started with yoga in the very beginning. Then we added Pilates, and now we're covering all things wellness. We're doing a lot of cold plunge. We cover D2C a lot, but I'm looking forward to getting to the B2B business. That's where I'm at right now.
Awesome, dude. Sounds great. Sounds like you got your hands full with a bunch of different things, which is super exciting. I did actually have a peek at your site last night, and I think it's a good one just because there's a ton of opportunity, and that always gets us excited. And I'll try and speak, in a way that will just give you as much sort of feedback and ideas on sort of design direction, communication. So yeah, for everyone on the call, anything I say, try not to take personally. I'm just trying to give as much value. But yeah, so I think wherever I like to start is always like let us on the key areas of the site. And so this homepage, particularly the screen that we're looking at now, is such an important area of your website. It's obviously where, say, all your Instagram traffic comes from. If you're running ads, you might be running some to the homepage. And so the way that you actually communicate and get across what it is that you sell and what makes it so special, it's so important on this section. And obviously if we were to dive into your metrics, Jimmy, would you say maybe like 70% plus would be coming on mobile?
Pardon me, can you repeat that?
Would you say about like 70% of your traffic would be on mobile or higher?
On your what? 70%?
On a mobile device versus desktop?
Mobile. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
roughly, yeah, it's over 70% or actually over 80%, I'll say, yeah.
Yeah, cool. So like I think that would be obviously quite normal, and so I think a lot of the people on the call will sort of switch between desktop and mobile just because it's obviously and a better viewing experience for you all if we're on desktop, but it's more important that we chat about mobile. And so I think that the first things to think about when you're on a hero homepage banner like the one that we have here, and just more broadly the above the fold, let's kind of break down a few of these sections. So up the top, we've got the announcement bar. Currently, we've got 3 different callouts, which our sort of best practice, I guess, is always just to try and get one simple call out. Prioritize your messaging to be like, what is the biggest takeaway that we can have in an announcement bar? Typically, it would be something like this bottom line where it says free shipping, $49 plus. That's a good one. I would say that you could probably do like strip out the others and say free shipping, 49 plus on all US orders if you're based in the States. And you could potentially have like a shop all with a little link attached to that as well. So I would say there's potentially even a way that you can make this. It looks like it's kind of grey on black, and so I would say maybe if you chose a more distinct font color, so let's say white, and make a few of those adjustments so that when someone's on mobile, they'll just see that top first line and it'll say free shipping, $49 in all US orders, shop now. But for anyone else on the call, it might also say, it might be trying to communicate trust. So it might say something like, 4.9 out of 5 stars from over 1,000 happy customers or something. So you can use this to sort of pull different levers, promotions, shipping, social proof, etc. So that's the announcement bar. Next up is your menu. And so I had a look at this last night and there's a lot going on here. Typically how we want to sort of design menus is kind of break up your primary and your secondary pages. And so the biggest tip is what is your customer actually clicking on and what are they trying to find? And so they're on your site to research whether your problems are a good fit for them, and to buy them as quickly and easily as possible. So typically what we'll find is brands tend to make the mistake of adding a lot of like brand focused pages to their menu as opposed to like customer focused pages. So how I would sort of optimize this, I would change the design so that you would have basically like your key shopping collections. And if you don't have any sort of behavioral analytics platform or tracking pixels installed, I definitely recommend doing that. So have a look at platforms like heatmap.com. Microsoft Clarity is free, so it's super easy, but basically that'll give you a snapshot, a heat map of where customers are clicking, and you'll find that a lot of these pages are not getting clicked. And the customers that want to, say, go on a retreat or do a collab or something, they'll be able to find this information in the footer. So we really want to prioritize your key shopping collections, and really make it like easy to understand the exact products that you sell. So if we were to look here, I would say that you could probably do like, something like hot and cold therapy, yoga and Pilates. And so these would be individual shopping collections. So you're basically trying to create about 4 to 5 key collections, and really simplify things so that it's very clear of what your sort of parent product collections are. So as I said, it might be like hot and cold plunging, yoga and Pilates. It might be like audio and accessories, and it might be something else. Shop all. So I definitely also have a shop all in here as well. So I would basically have those as your primary pages, and then you'd kind of strip all of these and put them in the footer or put them kind of like deprioritize the design. So you're, making them a smaller font size, and you're creating space between your hero pages and your secondary pages. Does that make sense, Jimmy?
Absolutely.
Cool. And then so now we get to like the most important area, which is this above the fold hero banner. And whenever we talk about sort of CRO, and one of the key things we look at is like, how do we optimize space so that we're communicating the key messages as high up the page as possible? And this is, this is true for the homepage, it's true for collections, product page, cart, etc. And so we can see here that there's a ton of white space on mobile. So we've got this this header up here, and then we can see that there's a ton of white space, and then there's this scrolling Father's Day sale sunglasses. And to be honest, like when we talk about, say, your hero products being cold plungers and different things, like those are the products that we need to be directing people towards in this section. So I would actually probably remove this sliding notification bar, because it's talking about sunglasses, it's talking about Father's Day, and I'm not even exactly sure what it is that you sell yet when I first land on this site. So I would say strip that out. But the most important thing is, see how we've got these 6 or so different sliding banners. These are going really quickly, and so I'm starting to read, and I'm so in my mind I'm going, we have the best. Oh, I'm on to the next. Choose your fit. Oh, I didn't even, like, you're not giving people time to actually really register what the messaging is. So and there's been a ton of split testing and stuff that's been done on this area of the site, and best practice suggests that you should just have one hero banner and sort of like separate out your text from your images. So here we've got a ton of imagery within the text. So yeah, typically we sort of want to separate that, and you just want to clearly communicate, what do you sell? How does it benefit me? And then send the traffic to your most shopped collection. So let's say that's hot and cold therapy. We need to just have one banner that says, elevate your recovery routine. And it says, US made cold plungers, like shop now, shop hot and cold therapy or something. Or you could have 2 buttons that says shop all products, shop well-being. But really cleaning this area up is going to be a massive boost for you guys. I think just quickly, I'll just have a quick scroll here. I would say this video as well, there's not a whole lot of context as to like what this is displaying, and just the general like editing style is quite slow, and it leaves like a lot of interpretation up to the customer. And basically, if you're starting to add any sort of confusion about what it is you sell, people are just going to bounce. So I would actually maybe get rid of this or deprioritize it. So move it down the page and pair it with some call outs that suggest like what this video is showing. But just on first glimpse, I'd probably remove it for now, and then just get straight into your products. So you should be showing these as like a bit of a grid. And I would say you'd probably be showing like your best sellers here. So maybe drop like 8 products here of your best sellers. All this content and stuff's great to have as well. So I think the key thing for you to work on, mate, is just like fixing this homepage sort of above the fold, first couple of scrolls up, and really clarifying your message of like what it is that you sell, and making that super clear. Because yeah, like, to be honest, it looks like you have an awesome community. It looks like you guys do retreats and a bunch of really cool stuff, and that's awesome. So I think it's like, as long as you can get people to these product pages as quickly as possible and really bring to life some of this UGC that you have, you're going to be much better off for it.
Got it.
Cool. Any questions, Jimmy?
No. Thank you so much. I'll try to process everything, but that there is such a good insights.
Yeah, sweet. Sorry, a bit of a brain dump for you, but yeah, hopefully you can, there'll be a few things to work through. I think just quickly as well, while I'm on this product imagery, and for everyone on the call, like, your product images are such an important part of your site. So like if we flick to Mobile, they'll obviously be up the top. And so this is like your most engaged with section of your product page a lot of the time. And what Jimmy's doing really great here is he's calling out these kind of infographic style call outs that actually show the benefits of cold plunging. However, there's also a ton of photos that are just kind of different angles of the product. So I would say that, typically we'd want to have between like say 4 to 7 images, and those different images should like communicate different things. So this is an awesome image, for instance, like it's communicating that 4 people can fit in this tub. But some of these aren't as relevant, or at least they could be, shown down the page. And just another quick point on space optimization, you can just see there's a ton of white space up the top here. So again,
guys, is that me or did Mav?
I think we lost Matt, I guess. I thought it was me, but
All right, I'll send him a message. Also, Jimmy,
everyone. So
yeah,
let us know how you go with it, Jimmy. And yeah, thanks for sharing.
Oh,
did he leave?
Yeah.
Oh no, here he is. Mav, sorry, I mean, we lost you for a minute there, but I think it's good.
So you're in mute, Matt.
Cool. Sorry, guys, lost you there for a sec. Yeah, thanks for sharing, Jimmy. Hopefully there's some takeaways. Shoot through any questions that you have, and let's keep it pushing.
Yeah. So one basically a very important question I have. I was actually I'm on a vintage theme. That is actually a main thing that I'm looking, all of the times I'm looking, to upgrade to a 2.0, and so I get into the code and I get into some apps and try to optimize, the UI and UX and design and everything is, kind of working. But do you recommend at the end that I move to a 2.0? Is that actually a game changer, or can I continue doing, basically, the vintage thing?
So sorry, Jimmy, I just lost connection there. I heard that you said you're on a vintage theme, you're looking at 2.0. Sorry, can you just
yeah
sort of finish?
I was saying because all of the times that I go to and change some of the design, or add some features or whatever, for example, some of the things I'd like to go into and change is actually on the product page, try to organize a little bit the descriptions and put some icons just to have a little bit more collapse and don't have all the description very, very broad. So that's some things that I know is very more easy to get into, like in a 2.0. So once you get involved and try to edit the code and everything, sometimes it's a little bit more difficult on a vintage than at 2.0. So my question was basically, is it really, on your point of view, is it really recommended to jump on a 2.0, and is a really important thing to do, or I can keep running my vintage theme and just try to handle it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of the sort of 2.0 interface, and it's if that allows for you to customize the design, continually edit it, and like optimize it throughout the next years of the brand, I definitely recommend like a bit of a upgrade, and focusing on. I wouldn't necessarily say that if the site was already optimized, but because there's a ton of like opportunity to do a bit of a redesign and fix a few key areas of the site, I think it would help you. But yeah, I'll feel free to shoot me a voice note and we can chat about it after, about some recommendations on how you can approach it.
Absolutely.
Cool. Let's jump into the next. Cool. Is Jason here from Pinch Magic? No.
No, I think it's not.
Cool. Let's do private packs. Is Suzanne on the call? We just have a look. That's a shame. I did a little mock-up for Suzanne, so I might just keep that one till the end in case she jumps on.
Yeah, I'll send her a message.
Cool. Thanks, mate. What about, let's go down this list. Christoph? Doesn't look like it. What about tiny tags? Who's this? Alyssa?
Yeah, I'm here. Yep.
Hey, Alyssa, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, great, thanks. Yeah, love to hear a little bit more about the brand.
Yeah, cool. So we are Tiny Tags. We're founded by Melissa Clayton. She was a mom who was, thinking about being closer with her children. So we sell fine personalized jewelry for moms is our key target market. So all of our jewelry on our site can be personalized with your children's name, their birthday, whatever you want. So that's kind of like our core and what we do.
Awesome. Looks like you guys have built a great brand. So yeah, congrats so far and everything. Yeah. I would say just quickly, do you know if this pop-up is triggering, like I opened this let's say 20 minutes ago, but do you know if this pop-up's like immediately showing?
We can't see your screen. I don't know if you mean to be sharing, but we use SMS bump and it should be on a slight delay.
Sure. Okay, cool. Sweet. Cool. Let's jump in. So I think just quickly while this announcement, the email pop-up is showing, I would say just like an obvious one would be split testing different styles and you guys probably have. So you can look at, say, like 3-stage forms which ask for like a micro decision. So it might be like, do you want to get 10% off? Yes or no sort of thing. The other thing that you could do is like generally speaking, like the more inputs that you have, so like the more fields that you have, being name, email, etc., the worst performing from like an email sign up conversion rate. So you could also test like capturing their email first and then asking for SMS. But yeah, I think just generally as a learning for everyone, just try and split test a ton of different approaches with this pop-up, text only, text plus image, and really just dial in and see what works for you, because it's cool. It's obviously an incredibly important part of the site.
Yeah, we literally just launched a test yesterday on the one you're seeing, and then email first and SMS second. So it's really funny to hear you say that.
Yeah, amazing. Sounds like you're onto it. Cool. So just having a look at this homepage, it looks like you've got sort of a scrolling banner at the top. I think that the actual design of this is perfect. I love it, how it's got the, sign up and get 10%. Or you've got I think the previous one was free shipping, and then you have a rewards one. I'll just like try and get an understanding on like which one of these people are clicking on, and I would potentially just have one of these. Typically, like if you're driving a ton of paid traffic to top of funnel or like new customers, I probably wouldn't have the rewards call out. I'd probably have the free shipping shop now. And shop now, it's always best, like this is an important call out just because I can see it here, is like tell people where they're going next. So it's like, are we saying shop all jewelry? Are we saying like shop personalized jewelry? It's a nice way to kind of like include the product category in say like a call to action. Less important up the top here, you could just say like shop all or shop bestsellers. But for something like this, you really want to be telling people where they're going next. Cool. So let's just have a quick look. here. I think like I've worked with some jewelry brands in the past. I would say that similar feedback in terms of like menu structure. I think like if you try and focus this menu solely towards like what is a customer trying to do on your website and how do we like best send them to those you know, collections, a lot of the time that they're obviously just in that, like they've landed here to shop. And so if you can help them get to their desired collection in the, you know, quickest way possible without so many clicks, that's awesome. My original like hot take on this would be maybe have like a shop all, and then I would suggest even, I mean, it'd be interesting to understand like what your most popular categories are. And off the top of my head, I think that people would probably shop by these. So you know, you could have necklaces, bracelets, earrings and rings, and maybe like pendants or something, or maybe even personalized, and maybe have those like as your 5 different key categories, as opposed to having them hidden under sort of subcategories here. So that might be a way to like make I guess a more consumer focused menu structure. And then you could strip out, you know, about us, journal, etc. If your heat mapping software is suggesting that they're just not being clicked on, I'd move them to the footer, and then and yeah, try and bring to life your most shopped collections. The other piece is this image. I think it's an awesome image. I understand that there's like, you guys are in the space of like harnessing that connection between you know, your loved ones, but I would say that this image doesn't necessarily tell me what you sell, particularly when it's paired with the copy. It's a little bit generic, so I'd love to see some like you know, call outs to personalized jewelry within here, to maybe contextualize this a little bit better. Cool. This is all looking great. Again, like these might be your most shopped collections. If they're not, I'd suggest putting those here. I also just, an interesting one on dog tags. It's a discussion that I've had previously with a brand. I'm not sure, and maybe you guys have tested this and spoken to consumers. I wonder if there's a better way to name that, like a nameplate. That's what I know that another brand uses instead of a dog tag. Yeah, that might be a way to like, I guess, elevate that a little bit more and make it feel a little bit more human and personalized. But yeah, that's just a kind of random insight. You'd know this industry far better than I. Also looks like you've got a ton of, you know, celebrities and different things that have used the brand, which is awesome. I'd probably bring this to life a little bit more. So obviously on mobile, like I can hardly read these names because the text is so small. So you could have like a kind of scrolling carousel that shows like each celebrity, and then pair that with a sort of headline that says join, you know, thousands of women that love our personalized jewelry, or something like that, to actually add that social proof element to sort of, yeah, tell people what they're meant to take away from this image. And yeah, if we can make that a little bit more mobile friendly, then that's awesome. Cool. Let's I'll keep this fairly short. Let's just jump into, I love what you're doing here with this mini menu. I think that's awesome. This is all looking great. I'd say like when there's the same style of hero image, it's super easy to like compare options. So you can obviously see that this one is a different style. So potentially have a think about like whether you would have like the same hero image and then the same kind of hover functionality. Cool. Yeah, again, this all looks great. There's a few things that you could sort of work on this product page. I think potentially just having like a bit of a short description underneath this title. The actual design of this is quite nice. So I'm happy with how everything's looking here. A little bit of like optimization in terms of space and different things that you could do. But other than that, yeah, it's looking great. And I think you're in a good place. It's probably just a matter of like really really understanding like what makes people buy, and also like all of these shots are beautiful. But it would be good to also just get some like more UGC shots and some better photos that are a little bit closer. So you've obviously got these which are studio or you know, mock-ups, but if you could have some sort of lifestyle shots that actually show closer photos of the product, that would be awesome. I'd also say just a small point on this reviews, like if you could have the actual amount of reviews and maybe have a read all link that shoots people down the bottom here. Because yeah, I think the cool thing is that you've got a ton of good social proof, so we really just need to highlight that every chance we can. I would also, I'm not sure if this is showing up maybe a little bit incorrectly just because we're on a desktop and we're looking on mobile, but there's this floating sort of chat functionality seems to be like floating quite high. I'd do some research to see how many people are actually clicking that. And yeah, because like you basically have this get 10% off and then you've got this floating chat and it's taking up a fair bit of space. Obviously you can close this, but we really want to remove friction wherever we can. I think also having like floating add to carts are a great idea. Cool. Any questions from you, Alyssa?
No, that was really, really helpful. Thank you so much.
Cool. No stress. Yeah, looks like you guys have done an awesome job. So keep it up. I would say, yeah, install some of the heat map software, fix up the menu. And another just little tip while I'm thinking of it is this, it'd be super interesting to actually see how many people are using your search, because potentially it is a sort of brand category that a lot of people do use the search. And if that's the case, you could make it even more prominent. So you might have like a little sort of bar that sits underneath this menu that says like search your beloved piece or something like that, right? So like making it known that and making it super easy for someone to just type in necklaces or bracelets or, you know, pendants. So either that or have like a kind of mini menu that, you know, shows your 4 most shopped collections up the top here, just underneath this header. So people don't have to go in here and then go in here and then go in here and then find something, right? So it's really trying to remove friction. Does that make sense?
Perfect. Yeah, it does. Thank you.
Cool. No stress. Thanks for sharing. Shin, did you get a chance to get a hold of Susan?
Yeah, she hasn't answered yet, but I did
No
send her.
stress. Cool. Is Sean on the call?
Yeah, that's me.
Sweet. What's up, dude? How are you?
Doing well. Thanks for doing this, Mav. Appreciate it.
Nah, happy to be here. Yeah, give us a bit of a spiel about the brand. Yeah, how long has it been around? And yeah, sort of what are you sort of focusing on?
Yeah, so literally launched it a month ago, and Meta is still in the learning phase. So, you know, don't have too much customer data to begin with. Don't have a large number of reviews yet. I actually started the company about 9 months ago. Kind of just as mouth tape was starting to become a known thing, but I customized my product and I found myself too deep in the weeds. So that's why it took me 9 months to launch this thing in the end. But yeah, so I have some assumptions for who I think could be a potential customer. With what little data I have so far, of all the people that have answered the post-purchase survey, or half the people have answered the post-purchase survey, and all of them are above the ages of 50. Now, that might also be because in the learning phase, we've seen that Meta is prioritizing spending to people that are older.
Yep.
So that could just kind of be a bit of a fluke that's going on right now, but it's just kind of an early insight that I find to be pretty interesting.
Cool. That's awesome. Just for like, just so other people on the call can get some value out of this. What Sean's saying about doing like a post-purchase survey is a great way to get actually some feedback around understanding your customer. And so when I spoke at the start about like, you know, you need to become obsessed with like who your customer is and like what they're searching for and what pain point they have. That's basically where Sean's at the moment. And so doing things like installing post-purchase surveys is a good chance to gather that feedback. And so, you know, doing that, looking at chat, understanding how, like, what queries people are, you know, sending through. And then the other piece is, like, I think, Sean, for you, it's an interesting spot to be in, because obviously mouth tape has kind of, you know, boomed, I guess, in the last year or so. And so hence you'll be faced with a ton of competition. And I think that is, it's a tricky spot to be in, because you really need to find what people really resonate with, and kind of hone in on that. And so that's sort of going to be where you're at the moment. It sounds like, at least. And a good way to do that is just test different angles, on, like, Meta, and see what, like, sort of positioning or messaging resonates most, and see what age groups resonate most, and then make your sort of post-click experience tailored towards that. So, for example, if Sean's saying, all right, so most of the people that are, you know, that are purchasing are above 50, and if we can find out why they're purchasing, so let's say snoring, or you know, high blood pressure or something like that, then let's make a landing page that speaks specifically to that. And so that needs to look like copywriting towards that demographic, imagery towards that. So, you know, less kind of young, optimized life sort of go-getter types, and more of, like, I'm fixing a pain, and that pain might be, you know, snoring or something. So I think testing different creatives, both, like, you know, organically and on paid, will give you some great insights. And then I think once you find that angle that really resonates, then you should be building sort of landing pages that really focus on that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
Cool. Yeah, I think, like, a point on that is just, like, to your point, it's kind of you're in a tricky position, because it's like you need to speak openly about, like, all the benefits, but I think when you start to understand, like, the really key reasons to purchase, you can kind of adjust this section. So that might be something like, you know, say goodnight to a terrible, you know, night's sleep, and say good morning to, like, you know, your partner that wakes up and loves you again, that sort of thing. It's like, if they're buying for their partner, or if they're buying because of their partner, then there might be certain angles that you can play around with.
So
But yeah,
far,
I think, like,
the survey has said that everyone's been buying it for themselves.
okay,
So
interesting.
Which I'm kind of surprised about with that age demographic. I thought that, like, for people above age 50, you'd see a decent amount of people buying it for their partners who snore. Having said that, I mean, all else being equal, the amount of data I have coming in is still pretty small.
Yeah.
And we are running new campaigns for people below the ages of 40, just so we can kind of segment that and you know, see how that
Yeah,
goes.
cool.
This might just be a meta
Yeah.
thing in the learning phase.
Yeah, for sure. It's a funny one too. It's like, if your ads are saying, here's why I love, you know, Sleepy Sundays, because it makes me sleep better, and I wake up feeling so much more, you know, alive, and different things like that, then inherently there's going to be that traffic that shows up and buys. So, like, I think if you start testing angles where it's like, finally, I've found a solution for my partner, you know, to not snore and keep me awake all night. And I'm saying snore, because I don't really, like, I don't have a deep understanding of the product benefits. So, like, please excuse me if that's completely unrelated, but that's just an example of, like, the benefit. So, so I think you'll start to get some clarity through just more data. But, like, to be honest, man, everything's looking really good. I think, yeah, it looks like you've got some, you know, strong design eye, and intention behind, like, a lot of the content that you have on here. I would just say that, like, just even looking at some of these, so these sections are awesome. I love them. I would just say that, like, try and ensure that these are also coming across quite organically. So I think, like, I actually took a look at this last night, and one of these videos, this one on the right, I think it might not play properly, but basically it's him talking, which is amazing. And then it's mashed up with all this kind of, like, almost like performance ad creative, like these sort of overlays. So I'd actually kind of prefer it to be just him speaking, or, you know, and not cut like an ad, because, you know, the ads will be driving them here, and then we need to just like ensure that they feel like they're in the right place, that they're, you know, understood, and that, you know, a ton of people have tried it. So it's just a slight sort of change in the angle.
Sounds good. Makes sense.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, similar feedback for this scrolling banner at the top here. I like it. I just don't know if it warrants being that high up the page, just because, yeah, there's a ton of call outs within here. So I'd probably rather, you know, physician approved and X amount of reviews, or, you know, free shipping in the US, etc. And maybe have that above the menu, but that's kind of personal preference. Cool. I'll just have a quick flick through here. But yeah, I think like from a design angle, you've got a lot of really good things going on. I think from your side, it's going to be more so the marketing and the messaging, and really understanding like why people are purchasing, and how to sort of, you know, get it in the hands of more of those people. Really optimizing your funnel. I think that'll be kind of the biggest takeaway for you.
Right. Do you have any
because,
recommendations on how to increase AOV or have more people purchase subscriptions?
So what we've got 30 night supply. Like, I think this is great what you have here. I guess what I'm not getting from this is like, why should I be buying 6 packs or 3 packs over one? And obviously I can see the price change down here, and if I do the math, then, you know, I can work out that I'm probably saving a couple bucks by doing so. But really making that clear about, you know, here's how much you save by doing, you know, 3 packs. It's an interesting one, right? Where it's like, you've got 90 night supply, but then you've pre-select subscribe as well. So it's almost like you want to be testing like volume orders. So 1 pack, 3 packs, 6 packs, really articulating and demonstrating the value of, you know, going with the 3 or 6 packs, versus say testing getting people on subscription. Because yeah, it's kind of like you're trying to do a couple things at once, and I'm not sure if it would be, like if it would kind of increase conversion more so if you were just focusing on like getting people into the 90 night supply, or you know, 180. But yeah,
So
it's an interesting one.
Are there any like specific design changes I should make, or change the order of something that might help move things in that direction?
I think for you, it's probably trying to understand like how to prompt people to like take action on this like straight away. And so I think like my mind goes to like, how do you build that really compelling offer? And maybe that looks like, you know, free gifts or different things like that. I would say in terms of like design, I think this is looking good. So I would remove that top banner. I'd probably put that above the header and just call out like free shipping. Again, there's a fair bit of white space here, so I would ditch that white space, move your images up, and then you probably also don't need these thumbnails. Like, you could just have like the arrows that show that you can swipe like left to right, just because that takes up a fair bit of space. 5-star rating, you could, you know, ideally you would call out the amount of reviews, but if you don't have a ton, then it's obviously a little bit tricky. What you can do there as well is you might say like 4.9 out of 5, you know, from 1,000 happy customers or something, because I think your job's really like, how do I show that there's a ton of different people, you know, using this, and that it's a trusted brand. And so if you think about like what makes a trusted brand, there's obviously like you've done some good work with this imagery, but it all feels like, you know, pushed, as opposed to like community led. So like maybe, you know, over this you can have how many customers, or, you know, try and bring to life that it's a brand that's used by a ton of different people. So you can do that through imagery. You can also do it through like UGC. So I think on the tiny tags, like you could see that they had a few different sort of UGC videos. Oh, I think Calm now had it as well. So like you could have those underneath here, which speak to some of those benefits similar to this. I also think just underneath this add to cart button, like it's a really important area. I don't know, people might disagree with me on this point, but like I'm not sure about adding these like credit card and, you know, payment call outs. I feel like if someone's on a Shopify site, like they know that they can use a bunch of different things. So what I would do there is like prioritize calling out shipping. And, you know, if someone is landing on your site and that they have a real pain, so let's say they've like, I'll use Snorri again because nothing comes to mind, but like, you know, it is a real pain. And so you need to position this as a painkiller. And hence, like, if we can communicate like that this is going to be shipped fast and free and, you know, that they'll get it, you know, by Friday, then I would prioritize that messaging underneath this add to cart. And I wouldn't have, you know, all these, you know, the like this here plus the subscription details. I would have, you know, call outs to free shipping, call outs to social proof, and then get into sort of, you know, how to use in your UGC underneath. Does that help?
Yeah, definitely.
I think same thing here. Yeah. This looks great. Like, I mean, it looks like you're using, you know, Upcart or, you know, Rebuy or something to facilitate all of this. And yeah, this is all like nice design. And I'm sure it functions well to like upgrade people to subscriptions and stuff. I think for you, it's kind of like, how do I ensure that they're getting an overwhelming amount of value, and how do I like remove any friction and like make them feel confident about their purchase? So really,
we may have lost you, Mav.
Let's see. Yeah, I think well, for everyone that's still here, I am gonna send notes on everything that's been talked about. So Sean, everything that Mav just said, I'm gonna send you a doc with just outlining everything that you can do, just for you not to lose any track. Also, I think we're gonna have time if Mav is able to join for one more. So Cheska, I don't know if you're here. Can you drop a message in the chat just to know that you are in fact here? Amazing. Yeah, I mean, we'll just wait for Mav for a couple of minutes. Let's see what's going on with his internet. And yeah, you'll be the last one, Cheska. Yeah, sure. I mean, if you can, you can start just writing the message, giving a bit of context on your brand, how long it's been since you started it, any challenges you're dealing with right now, just any context that you think Mav might be able to use. I'll send him a message also.
sorry guys, looks like my my internet is playing up today. But yeah, I think just to round out those points, like you're doing an awesome job, Sean. I think it's just more so just testing, finding what angles work, and just you know, making a few design tweaks and just continually testing.
Sure. Do you have any websites or inspiration that you think show like, you know, good like community-led brands or brands where products are true painkillers? Those are two things you mentioned that stand out to me that I think could make a big difference. I'm just curious if there's like somewhere I should be looking.
Yeah, I'll do some digging after this call and shoot you a couple through. I've got like a few libraries of like different references for different categories, so I'll try and pick out a few for you.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
No worries. Cool, thanks, mate. Let's.
I sent a message to Suzanne. She's not gonna be able to join right now, But I mean, at the end of the call, we can just chat on, because it'd be cool to get this a hold of her, so we can make that work. But yeah, I don't know if you have time for one more. Cheska already it also sent her landing page, and I think with her it'd be like just on the hour.
Yeah, awesome, cool. Cheska, are you on the call? Can you just say hi and yeah, tell us a little bit more about the brand?
I think she doesn't have her mic isn't working, but I already told her like a couple of minutes ago that she's writing. Yeah, she just on the chat.
Cool. Where? Cool. 2010. Awesome. Cool. I will share my screen again and let's jump in. Sweet. Love Benito. Cool. Awesome. So like just straight off the bat, I think like brand wise, everything's in a great place. I think like having, you know, consistent photography, particularly for fashion brands that, you know, elevate and like focus in on the product is awesome. And you guys have seemed to nail that. So good job there. I would say that this top banner just feels a little bit disconnected from the rest of the site. So we've got like archive sale, 80% off. Yeah, I wonder if there's just a better way that, you know, if someone doesn't know anything about your brand and they land here for the first time, like they're going to be thinking, all right, like what are we, you know, if I go shop sale, am I going to be shopping, you know, sticky notes, or am I going to be shopping like women's fashion? And so whilst that might sound a little abstract and weird, that's just like, we need to be as simple as possible for customers. And so I think just quickly while I'm looking at it up the top as well, there's like a rotating banner, but it seems to be the same message. And there's a lot of different call outs here. So we've got, you know, the archive sale up to 80% off 2000 styles. And then we've got, so you've got the 10% off minimum 50, and then it goes 15% off minimum 80. There's just, there's a lot to take in for that. So I think let's maybe just prioritize some of the sort of key benefits and replace that. And so you could simply have 80% off 2000 styles shop sale now, and then do a better job like on say the product page or the cart of like communicating the different like tiers, I guess, of promotions. Cool. I think just on the navigation system as well. Again, it'd be awesome to have a look through heat maps and get a better understanding about like what the key collections are. I'd be trying to get this down to like, say, you know, 5 points as opposed to almost 10. So yeah, initially just straight off the bat, I'm thinking you could probably get rid of about, you know, I'd potentially be moving shop all to the front because that would probably be your most clicked, and just kind of reprioritize this based on what people are clicking on. But let's jump in. Sorry guys, can you still hear me? Yeah, cool. Where are we? Cool. Yeah, again, I think you're doing an awesome job on the collections page, so I won't say too much there. Just looking at that navigation system, it feels like there'd be a ton of SKUs on your products, like in your range, sorry. So I would say that maybe having like a mini menu here could be a good idea as well. That might say something, even if it's as simple as like shop bestsellers and, you know, shop sale maybe, or, you know, shop, like you might split it out by category. So it might be like shirts, pants, tees, you know, shoes, etc. But yeah, having like a little mini menu, I love that, particularly for like higher, you know, high inventory stores, just because like it allows people to, you know, find where they need to get as quickly as possible. Cool. Yeah. Again, like images and stuff look great. The only thing here is, like, I mean, we work with a fashion brand at the moment, and a couple key things that come to mind when we discuss sort of conversion rate optimization with them, and one of the obvious big ones is sizing. So like really doing a great job of like helping people find the right size is so crucial. I love that you've got this little snippet here where it's got the model details and the garment size that they're wearing. I would say that you would potentially even move that higher. So in line with size, you might have like model size like on this right side. Size guide bumps you down here. I think this is like important to have, but I also find that like a lot of the time it's like a chart and people don't really use it in a way that's like very relevant for them, which is why I love this more sort of human side where it's like, here's this person, here's how tall they are, and here's the exact garment size. We've also used like call outs over the image. Particularly it's important when you have different models to call it out on the image. But just on that point, I think your sort of brand photography is amazing. I wonder if there's a little bit more that you can do in terms of like showing these garments on like the community. So like it's one of those things that like people look at this and they're like, oh wow, like I wonder if that's actually how it would look on me. So if you can try and overcome that sort of objection or like, you know, consumer worry, then like you'll be in a great place. And you've obviously got this as seen on section here. Maybe there's like something that you could do higher up the page that says like see it in the wild or something like that, see it on the street, and try and stack as many of these kind of UGC images as possible. A lot of brands don't want to have that imagery in the sort of top product page imagery section because they want to kind of own the brand experience, but it can help. But yeah, I think like you're doing a good job here. I would say there's like some space optimization that can be done here, just in terms of like aligning things, you know, removing some of this white space. This size guide can come aligned with the size call out here. I would also say like whenever you have a, you know, button style, whether that be color or shape, you kind of want to have that as just the button shape. And so hence like, let's say you've got the add to bag here, it's square. Underneath that, you've also got not valid for return or exchange, which is in that sort of rectangular shape as well. And then you've also got another call out, which is in that shape. And what that does to like the sort of shopping psychology is like, all right, are these buttons as well? And it takes less sort of priority away from your most important button, which is this add to bag. So have a think about maybe like what are your key call outs that you want to show underneath like this add to bag. And I would think that you could say, obviously for this one, that it's not valid for return or exchange. And I'm sure there's reasons for that, but I would probably be calling out like whether you do have free returns and free shipping on other products, then I'd be kind of calling out those two things, just simply because in the fashion industry, those are, you know, the two things that a consumer like is thinking about. And you know, if you can really try and boost their confidence, then you're going to go a long way to actually converting. So I think we're running to the end here. I'm happy to stay on. I've got another 15 or so minutes in my calendar, so happy to go over if people are on the call and want to share their pages. But Shin, if you want to wrap up, I'll pass over to you.
I mean, if someone has landing page they wanna get audited, I mean, feel free. I also have time.
Shin, did you want me to maybe share that the private packs mock-up that I did last night?
Yes, I mean, absolutely. Feel free.
Because I think for a lot of people, it's easy for me to go through and just like talk about these like little changes, but actually seeing the comparisons of before afters, like it actually brings to life like, okay, like I understand how that makes it so much clearer. And we can send this to Suze after.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
So, and guys, like feel free to jump off. Appreciate everyone that's jumped on, but I'll just kind of keep tearing through this one. And if you're excited for mock-ups and different things like me, then stay on. Cool. So this is Suze's brand. It's called Private Packs. It's modern care for vaginal private pain. So they sell like hot and cold packs. And the reason I know this is because we were looking at this site last night. So they've obviously done well to get, you know, ranging in different retailers. So I think for a product like this, it's kind of, you know, twofold. It's like, how do we grow online sales? But also, how do we ensure that, you know, if someone's in Target and they're like, oh, what's this product? And they search the website, how are they, you know, how are we presenting information so that they're confident to make that purchase in store? And so Luke and I work with a lot of different omni-channel brands that have that kind of, you know, focus on retail, but also on e-coms. And so it's important to think about how that plays a part in the strategy. I think just generally like similar call outs in terms of, you know, menu structure and homepage hero sort of banner design. But the best way for me to kind of illustrate this is flick over to Figma. But just quickly on this homepage hero, there's kind of a few elements that we have to play with. So we've got obviously the copywriting. So we've got the header, the heading, the subheading, and the call to action. Typically, we'd love to also see some social proof in there. But this section is like, tell people what you sell, tell people how it benefits them, and try and get them to that shopping page. That's kind of your goal. And so that's all your copy and your call to action. The next obvious piece is the image. And so the problem when we have text over an image is that like we're kind of doing like a half job, right? It's like we're sort of showing the brand and the product, but like we're not doing a great job of showing either. So the text becomes harder to read, and then the product image is, you know, actually hard to see. So really when I first pulled this up, I was like, I have no idea what this product is. So basically what we have in our arsenal here is to use an image that has enough white space or has enough space to feature that text, or to simply separate the text from the image. And that's sorry guys, I'm just choking here for a second. That is like particularly important when you're talking about mobile, right? Because people land on here, they just want a quick snapshot of like, here's what I do. Cool. So some of the problems, as I said, text over image, call to action button is really small, and it just says learn more. So like if it can try and do a better job of like communicating what the product actually is and getting people there, like telling people where they're heading, that's kind of what we want to achieve. Cool. So this is our mock-up. So if we start up the top, we've got, you know, a smaller announcement bar. It's across one line. It's got free and fast shipping on US orders, shop packs. So we're giving people the chance to land on here. They see that and they quickly head to packs. Typically, like someone might hit that if they're a return customer. But yeah, it's just a good one to have, because particularly if these are sticky, then like someone can scroll and then come back and hit that. The next piece is, as I said, your imagery, and really choosing images that like highlight the product. So hence you can see left side, you don't really know what it is. Right side, it's just a better photo, right? Clearer, you can see the brand on there. It's like a nice kind of highlighting that, you know, the actual product, and it looks quality, right? The next piece is like, I've just, you know, pulled this image from the product page, but it had this awesome, you know, wellness awards pop sugar. So if there's any other element of like, how can I trust this brand? Let's include it in this section. Cool. And then like, now it's sort of like, let's get onto the copy. So we've moved the copy into space that you can read everything quite easily. And then, so it's basically what's the main benefit, or, you know, what's the problem that we're trying to solve? It's get instant relief. That's the benefit. It's instant relief from vaginal pain. And then it's like, if we can support like this sort of call out or this benefit by talking more specifically maybe about your key benefit or what makes you unique, then like it'd be awesome to do that in the subheading. So here we've just got our packs are discreet and comfortable because we have vaginas too. And it's that, like, whether this tonality is right for the brand or not, that would be for up to Suze to kind of finesse that. But it's this idea of like, we get you. And like, when you actually go into the About Us and read through Suzanne's like story, it's really inspiring, and it's like, it's an awesome story to tell. And so if she can start to weave that into how the brand communicates, then it's going to do a lot of heavy lifting. And then the final piece here is kind of like having that shop packs, people know where they're heading. We've kind of almost labeled the specific product, and then we've just got some social proof underneath. So it's like a ton of trust that's being built here, and also just clarity. Like, you land on here, all right, I have a good understanding of what this product is now. Any questions on that? Does that all make sense for the homepage hero? Cool. I can see a thumbs up from Shin, so I'll keep going. The other piece as well is, like, we've already spoken about space optimization, but just like when you see it, a section like this that takes up so much space, it sort of doesn't need to. So we can just kind of, make some small design tweaks to like better optimize the layout. Cool. So that's the homepage hero. As we know, it's like that this is one of the most important areas, but like, what happens next? Let's go, a customer comes to this menu and then they want to research whether this product is a good fit for them and they want to buy it. So it's like, all right, I jump onto the menu and I'm faced with all these options, and there's no hierarchy of like where, there's no design hierarchy of where I should be going. So for instance, contact us, whilst it's down the page more, it's in the same styling of, shop, which is our most important thing. So how do we sort of optimize that in a very simple way? It's to like simplify things, call out the like key pages that people want to find. So it's like shop all private packs, how it works, and find a store. That would be like, just off the top of my head, without looking at any heat maps, I would assume that those would be sort of the 3 most clicked or most sought after pages. And then what we can do is just deprioritize some of the secondary pages. So just move them down a bit. It might be a different font. It might be reducing the font styling and size. But yeah, just really making it clear like where we want people to go. And that should obviously be based on where they want to go, right? It's all customer focused. Cool. And then so let's say they go, yep, I want to shop. Let's go back here. And they land on the most important page on your website, which is your product page. So there's some awesome content here, but I think it can just be optimized. So what you'll find that Suze has got is like, she's got some great infographic style imagery. One of the things that I read when Shin first announced this little meeting is that she had added this in, and she said that an investor has flamed her because like there's no sense of like showing how this product is used. So whilst she's done an awesome job of like highlighting key benefits, and I think this is like a best in class example of like calling out different key benefits of your product so that someone doesn't have to scroll and find these key benefits in here, make them known in this section, because this is where most people are engaging. So it's basically call out key benefits, show the product, and then obviously show how to use it. So I'm sure she'll be working on ways to show that. But from our side of things, it's like, we look at this, we see some space that's underutilized, and then really this section here is where there's a ton of room for opportunity. And I'll just flick across to here because again, we've got visuals, so it allows me to speak about this in a more clear way. But I mean, disregard, this is one that Luke, my business partner, and he's our designer, so he's jumped in here, and this is why this mock-up looks better than all of mine. But we've just had a bit of a play with colors because subjectively, we found that the green didn't resonate as much, particularly when you have like green, red, you know, burgundy, and then blues and different things. So we just felt that the pink was a nice little touch. It's obviously a little bit on the nose, but it also, like, using colors that from a psychology standpoint fit with certain categories, and are also complementary, right? We chose this because it's complementary to this nice burgundy. But yeah, if I walk you through this, it's like, you know, clear announcement bar. We've increased the size of the images, pushed them up to utilize this space, and you can easily just swipe through these, so you don't need the, you know, 1 to 4 here. Then we've added the review snippet here, so there's no sort of social proof high up the page here, so we really want to hammer that in. We've also added the use hot or cold to this call out, and we've added bestseller. So this could be, you know, signature product. It could be as stocked in, you know, Target. It could be anything, but we want people to land on our website and go, okay, this is the product that Private Packs is known for. So it's like, I'm in the right place. This is the bestseller. Cool. With reviews, there's, you know, I've added relaxed women here, so it's like from 120 plus relaxed women. I don't know if relaxed is probably the right word there, but the idea is to like show the state of, you know, what's the transformational state after using this product. If we can make that quite clear, then that's awesome. Not too much of a change here, just sort of playing with their font styling. I'll get back to where we say duo here because it's an important point. But what we often like to do is just have like one sentence to be like, what is the role of this product? It's to get immediate ease from the symptoms. And so it's like, if we can have that as a short description and then call out some of the key benefits here, then someone doesn't have to go into the description and chew through all this sort of blocks of text. They can just easily understand this. And again, it goes back to like, if someone is in Target and is shopping and you just want to land like the benefits, then this is a better way to show it. Cool. Now let's compare sort of this section. So we've got quantity, we've got duo pack, 2 pads, plus 4 reusable sleeves, and then we've got the trio pack. It's a little bit tricky because Suze is not on the call. And so I'd love to actually understand what people are purchasing. But one of the key things that we found is like, it says reusable up to 200 times. So if we're looking at, say, 2 pads or say 4 reusable sleeves, that would be what, 800 times. So I'm not sure if a trio pack would be like necessary if it is reusable 200 times for each sleeve. So it's important to like understand, like, obviously that would be a tactic. If we remove this, then it's kind of like, you know, some people on the call might be like, but that might hurt AOV. And like, that might be the case, but it also might actually improve conversion rate and lead to like a higher revenue figure. And it's also just more consumer friendly. Like if we're calling out, here's how many times you can use your product, and hence you might not need to buy a trio pack, then that's like a, you know, consumer focused decision. So I'd probably like, this would be something you'd split test where you'd have an image of the duo pack and trio pack. And I think similar to what I was chatting to Sean about is like really calling out the value if you do have those different sort of tiered options, to be like, if you go with a trio pack, you're saving X amount and it's going to last you X long. So that would be one that you'd split test. But like, if you compare these side by side, we've got, you know, a pretty small add to cart button here and a big shop pay. I typically don't love to have like big dynamic checkout buttons here. I'd rather just have like one really like prominent, powerful add to cart button, make it clear what the price is. And if something is, say, like a painkiller like this product is, then having, you know, there's obviously an immediate need for it. And so having like, this will be delivered for free on this day. And so it's like, just, you know, giving the consumer confidence to go ahead with the purchase. Cool. The other thing is that this is obviously a more niche product, and there's a ton of like awesome reviews. And so if we can try and bring some of those up, there might only be, say, in this scrolling carousel, 3, 4, 5 reviews. And then you might say read all reviews, which would actually bump you down to the 120. But if, you know, women can land on this and really resonate with some of the stories and some of the benefits that customers have taken out, then we're doing our job. And we're doing our job both from an omni-channel. So like if people are reading these reviews when they're in store, as well as like boosting conversion and confidence. So feel free for anyone to shoot any questions through now. That sort of wraps up private packs, and we'll ensure that Suze gets these mock-ups. But yeah, if anyone has any final questions they want to shoot off, I'm gonna have to run in 5 minutes. So yeah, I'll pass it over to the floor if anyone has any last cues, or if Shin, yeah, you want to mention anything.
I mean, if someone has a question, just drop it down below. Jimmy, do you have a question?
No, I just want to thank you, Matt, for your time and your insights. I really appreciate it. I just moved forward to make some adjustments and while you were talking and try to make everything according to your insights. And yeah, let's move forward. Let's stay in touch. I appreciate that.
No worries, mate. Yeah, and if anyone has any like sort of questions, you know, post this call, just shoot me a sort of a voice message in Slack, and I can sort of, yeah, share any references or thoughts.
Thank you so much, Shin, for your time. Thank you, guys. Okay, I appreciate it.
Cool. Thanks heaps, guys. Sorry, I think I just dropped out then again, Shin. But yeah, appreciate everyone for jumping on. And yeah, shoot through any questions you have. Enjoy the weekend.
You too. Thank you, man.
Thanks, Nav. Appreciate it.
Cheers, guys.
Take care.
Thanks.